Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahu Akbar. You are great, for you are God. You are the shining light of love. You are the force which rules the world and the mighty heavens above. It is to you that I do turn when I am lonely and worn. From you I get my strength and joy, and hope is then reborn. You are mighty, you are great, the world stands in your awe, and yet you are kind and gentle, which makes us love you more. You have laid down certain rules which are a test of love. Obeying them we prove ourselves and reach the heavens above. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Namaz. God has asked us to pray 5 times every day, 5 times to bow before Him, 5 times to say, love you and you we obey. Oh Allah, you are great in every way. Oh Allah, you are one, like you there is none. You are the Lord of the judgment day. Show us the path that is straight and true, not the path of those that go astray. In the morning before the sun comes out, at noon when the sun is high, in the evening and then again at dusk, at night when the day goes by. These are the times when we come to you. Your gates are always open wide to gather the treasures of heaven.
Alright, we would like to start our program, but it's very important for all the children to come and sit down with their parents. And we'd like again also to request all the parents to make sure that the younger siblings are all with you, so this way it's not disturbing all the participants and the performers. We're going to start the program, and I'm going to introduce our 2 MCs. Our 2 MCs for this evening are Sadiq Islamic and Maysam Rizvi.
Maulana Rizvi, respected scholars, Mr. Scopa, Ms. Pierce, teachers, parents, community members, and students, Assalamu alaikum. On behalf of Sadiq Islamic School, I would like to welcome you all to this evening's Milad program in celebration of the Holy Ahlul Bayt. My name is Sadiq Islamic, and along with Maysam Rizvi, we will be emceeing the program this evening.
The Holy Prophet, the Holy Ahlul Bayt are the chosen ones of Allah, who are sent as guides and role models for us. We are fortunate to be their followers, and we may learn many things from their blessed lives. The Holy Prophet has said, the example of my Ahlul Bayt is like that of the Ark of Prophet Noah. Whoever gets on it will be saved. We pray that the Almighty makes us from among those who are saved.
I would now like to welcome 3 of the grade 8 students, Ali Rasul, Sarah Adwani, and Maliha Megji, to start the program with a recitation of the Holy Quran. Assalamu alaikum. Many verses of the Holy Quran refer to the Ahlul Bayt.
We know some of the famous ones like the Ayat al-Tathir, the Ayat al-Mubahala, and many more. Today we are going to recite 3 verses that refer to the Ahlul Bayt, and specifically Imam Ali alayhi salam. The first verse is a verse of wilayah, authority.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنما وليكم الله ورسوله والذين آمنوا الذين يقيمون الصلاة ويؤتون الزكاة وهم راكعون.
Surely Allah is your wali, and so is His messenger, and those who believe and establish prayer and give the poor rate while in the state of ruku'.
Abu Dharr al-Ghifari, a highly regarded companion, is quoted to have said, "One day, while I was saying my prayers in the company of the Prophet, a beggar came to the masjid asking for alms, but nobody gave him anything. Imam Ali, while in the state of ruku' in the prayer, pointed out his ring finger to the beggar. The beggar approached Imam Ali and removed the ring from his finger. At this occasion, the Holy Prophet prayed to Allah to delight his heart and make his task less difficult by appointing from amongst his kinsmen Imam Ali as his representative." The second verse talks about the Ahlul Dhikr, the people of the reminder.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم وما أرسلنا من قبلك إلا رجالا نوحي إليهم فاسألوا أهل الذكر إن كنتم لا تعلمون.
And we did not send before you other than men to whom we send revelation. So ask the followers of the reminder if you do not know.
Al-Dhikr refers to the Holy Quran itself and is also one of the names of the Holy Prophet. Since they are the seeds of knowledge in Islam, the Ahlul Bayt are regarded as the Ahlul Dhikr. The Quran also says the Ahlul Bayt are the people of the Quran who should be referred to for a correct interpretation of the Quran. Ahlul Bayt know the inmost meaning of the Quran like no one else. The last verse we are going to recite talks about the al-Rasifuna fil ilm, the people who are firmly rooted in knowledge.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم هو الذي أنزل عليك الكتاب منه آيات محكمات هن أم الكتاب وأخر متشابهات فأما الذين في قلوبهم زيغ فيتبعون ما تشابه منه ابتغاء الفتنة وابتغاء تأويله وما يعلم تأويله إلا الله والراسخون في العلم يقولون آمنا به كل من عند ربنا وما يذكر إلا أولي الألباب.
It is Allah who sent to you, O Muhammad, the book, Quran, wherein are some decisive verses. They are the basis of the book, and others having variable meanings. Men with stubbornness in their hearts emphasize the unclear therein, seeking to mislead, while none knows the Quran's hidden meaning except Allah, and those who are firmly rooted in knowledge, who say, we believe in it, all is from our Lord, but only the people of understanding take heed.
The Holy Prophet confirms that the Ahlul Bayt are deeply rooted in knowledge, who knew the inmost meaning of the Quran. Most of the verses of the Quran are clear and decisive. They are known as the Al-Muhkamat. The Mutashabihat are the verses which carry implications other than the literal meanings. It is clearly disclosed that besides Allah, only those endowed with knowledge of the divine know the true meaning of the Mutashabihat. The firmly rooted in knowledge are the Holy Prophet and his Ahlul Bayt, for they were guided and thoroughly purified by Allah. Salawat.
The Holy Prophet is the most beloved of all creations to Allah. He is also known as Habibullah, the beloved of Allah. I would now like to welcome Prep 2 to recite a Nasheed on the Holy Prophet.
وسلم عليك يا
There's a quick announcement. There's way too much noise in the back, and which is why a lot of the parents can't hear what's happening in the front as well. So in order to, they've practiced and they've really put in a lot of work. In order to respect that, please, if I could just ask everyone to just sit quietly so that everyone can enjoy the presentation and everyone can hear everyone, please. Thank you so much.
One of the most historic events regarding the Ahlul Bayt is the event of the blanket. It shows the great status of the Holy Family. Let's welcome the great fours who will now perform a play on the significant event.
Assalamu alaikum. Today the grade 4s will be presenting to you the story of the cloak, also known as Sadiq Islamic. We often begin our gatherings with this beautiful hadith as a way of building our connection with our beloved Ahlul Bayt. Our Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has said, "Me and my family are like a tree. I am the root of the tree. Ali is the branches of the tree. Hassan and Hussein are the fruits of the tree. And our Shia are the leaves of the tree. And only good can come from good." The following story has been narrated from the Lady of Light, Sayyidah Fatima Zahra alayhi salam.
One day in Medina, my father, the Prophet of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, approached my house. As he stepped inside, he greeted me. Assalamu alaikum ya Fatima. This means, peace be upon you, O Fatima. Alaykum salam, I replied, meaning upon you be peace. A little while later, my father said to me that he was feeling weak. I reassured him, however, that Allah would protect him.
Within a few minutes, my father asked me to bring him his blanket. This blanket was a special one from Yemen, which is a country far from Medina. So I brought him his blanket and covered him with it. As I stepped back to look at him, I saw that his face started to shine. It was almost as if I was looking at a glowing full moon. My father, the messenger of Allah, was such a special person that Allah made his face shine so bright.
As the Prophet rested, my older son Imam Hassan came home. Assalamu alaikum ya Ummah, he said, peace be on you, O mother. Wa alaikum salam, I replied. Imam Hassan then said to me that he could smell something very nice. It reminded him of his grandfather, the Prophet of Allah. I told him that he was right. His grandfather was underneath the blanket. Imam Hassan went towards the blanket and greeted his grandfather. Assalamu alaikum ya Rasulullah. He also wanted to join his grandfather under the blanket, but asked his permission first. The Prophet replied, Wa alaikum salam, you may join me under the blanket. Happily, Imam Hassan went next to his grandfather.
Soon, my second son, Imam Hussein, came home. Assalamu alaikum ya Ummah, he said. Wa alaikum salam, I replied. Then Imam Hussein said to me that he could also smell something very nice. It reminded him of his grandfather, the Prophet of Allah. I told him that he was right. Your grandfather and your brother are resting underneath the blanket. Imam Hussein moved closer to the blanket.
He also greeted the Prophet. Assalamu alaikum ya Rasulullah. The Prophet replied, Wa alaikum salam. Imam Hussein also wanted to settle under the blanket. Like his older brother, Imam Hussein respected the Prophet so much that he first asked his permission. The Prophet replied that he too may come under the blanket. Imam Hussein settled in beside his grandfather and brother. As the Prophet, Imam Hassan and Imam Hussein rested, soon Imam Ali came home. Assalamu alaikum ya bint Rasulullah. He said, Peace be upon you, O daughter of the Prophet of Allah. Wa alayka salamu ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. I replied, and upon you be peace, O Commander of the Faithful. Imam Ali then said to me he could smell something very nice. It reminded him of his cousin, the Holy Prophet. I told him that he was right. Your cousin is resting underneath the blanket with your two sons. Imam Ali moved closer to the blanket. He also greeted the Prophet. Assalamu alaikum ya Rasulullah. The Prophet replied, Wa alayka salam. He also wanted to join the Prophet and sons under the blanket, but he too asked permission first. The Prophet replied that he too may join them underneath the blanket. Imam Ali also went under the blanket next to his cousin and two sons. As the Prophet, Imam Hassan, Imam Hussein, and Imam Ali rested, I went towards the blanket. I also wanted to join my family under the blanket, but I asked permission. The Prophet replied that I too might come under the blanket. When we were all under the blanket, my father held the two ends of the blanket and raised his right hand towards the heaven. As he did this, he prayed, O Allah, these are the people of my household. Whoever hurts them, hurts me. As well, whoever is their friend is a friend of mine. As well, they are from me and I am from them. O Allah, send your blessings on us, the Ahlul Bayt. Allah watched all of this, then said to his angels that he had not created the sky, the earth, the shining moon, the bright sun, the rotating planets, the flowing seas, the sailing ships, except for the love of the 5 people lying beneath the Yemeni blanket. Angel Jibreel listened to what Allah said and then asked him, Who are those 5 people underneath the blanket? Allah explained, They are the household of the Prophet and the blessings of prophethood. They are Fatima, her father, her husband, and her sons. Angel Jibreel asked permission from Allah to go and join them in their gathering. Allah, the Generous, replied that he was given permission to join them. Angel Jibreel landed near the 5 Ahlul Bayt and greeted the Messenger of Allah. Assalamu alaikum ya Rasulullah. Then Angel Jibreel told the Prophet that Allah had also sent his salams to the Messenger. As well, Allah wanted the Prophet to know that he had not created the sky, the earth, the shining moon, the bright sun, the rotating planets, the flowing seas, and the sailing ships, except for the sake of the 5 people who are under the blanket. Angel Jibreel informed the Prophet that Allah had given him permission to join the 5 members under the blanket. Yet, out of respect, he asked the Prophet again, May I join you, Ya Rasulullah? The Prophet replied, You are granted permission to enter. As Angel Jibreel took his place under the blanket, he asked He said to my father, Allah sends this revelation to you. Verily Allah so desires to remove all impurities from you, O people of the house, and purify you with complete purification. Allah has created you, Hassan, Hussein, Ali, and Fatima, to be pure and perfect. You never make any mistakes or commit any sin. Allah's wish is for you to always remain this way.
Imam Ali wondered why it was so important for all of them to get together under the blanket. He asked my father why this event was so important. The Prophet explained to Imam Ali that whenever and wherever followers and friends of the Ahlul Bayt have a gathering and talk about this event, Allah will send His blessings and mercy upon them. Also, many angels will form a circle around them and ask Allah to forgive their sins which they have previously committed.
Imam Ali was delighted to hear this. He exclaimed, "Then we, the Ahlul Bayt and our followers, will be successful." The Prophet explained that whenever the followers of the Ahlul Bayt have a gathering and talk about this event, Allah will make sure that anyone who is present and feeling sad will feel better, and anyone who is feeling upset will feel calmed, and anyone who is waiting for a wish to be granted will have his or her desire answered, inshallah. Again, Imam Ali was delighted. Happily, he said, Allah has made us the Ahlul Bayt and our followers, the winners and the lucky ones in this world and in the next. Ameen. Salawat.
Imam Ali. What can be said about Imam Ali? Imam Ali, the brother of the Prophet, the spouse of the Lady of Light, and the father of the chiefs of the youth of paradise. Let's now direct our attention to Qasitude and the praise of Imam Ali.
Once again, we please request you all to just keep it down so that we can hear them, please. Thank you.
day, but the children of AS-SADIQ have done a lot of hard work, spent a lot of time to prepare these presentations. And it would be really, really nice to see everybody have the opportunity to listen to what they have to say, to be able to enjoy the program, and to be able to participate. I know it's a Friday night, and I know we're all tired, but the program is not much longer. So if we can really, really maintain some silence throughout the program, that would be greatly appreciated, because we want to be able to show our support to these lovely young children who are going to be our leaders for tomorrow. And we need to be able to do that by showing them that we're here for them and that we support them. So if we can have 3 really, really loud salawats, followed by some beautiful respective silence. Thank you so, so much, and we will have the program continue. 3 loud salawats, please.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
One of the famous companions of our Islamic Imam goes by the name Bahlul. We have the pleasure tonight of watching the grade 6s perform a skit on the great man, Bahlul.
Assalamu alaikum, my brothers and sisters. The grade 6s in the past few weeks have been learning about Imam Musa alayhi salam and some of his companions. One of his companions is Wahab bin Amr. Today I will tell you a little bit about him. Bahlul was born in Kufa, and his real name was Wahab bin Amr. Harun feared for the safety of his khilafat, so he tried to destroy the Imam. He put the blame of the rebellion upon the Imam and demanded a verdict from the pious people of his time, which included Bahlul. Everyone agreed except Bahlul, who opposed the decision. To protect himself from the anger of the Caliph, Bahlul acted as though he was insane. By doing this, he was safe from Harun's punishment. Without the fear of danger, he insulted the notorious Khalifa in amusing ways. Nevertheless, people acknowledge his superior wisdom and excellence. Even today, many of his stories are narrated in assemblies and teach the listeners valuable lessons. The grade sixes have been working hard on some skits from the life of Bahlul. We will present 4 short skits throughout tonight's program. We have tried to make these skits for you to enjoy and learn a little bit about his life, so please be sure to stay tuned.
One day, Abu Hanifa was teaching at a college. Bahlul was sitting in the corner listening to Abu Hanifa's lesson. In the middle of his lesson, Abu Hanifa said the following.
There are 3 things that Imam Ja'far Sadiq says that I do not agree with. First of all, he says that Shaitan will be punished by the hellfire. But this is not possible, because Shaitan is made out of fire. A thing that one cannot be punished with is a thing that they are made out of themselves. Therefore, Shaitan cannot be punished by the hellfire. Secondly, he says that Allah cannot be seen, but something that is present must be seen. Therefore, Allah can be seen through our eyes. Finally, he says that when we do something, we are responsible for that thing. But evidence is against this. Therefore, whatever actions we make, Allah is responsible for that. That hurts.
They took Bahlul to the Khalifa.
Why did you do this? Why don't you bring in Abu Hanifa so I can give him my answer? Oh, Abu Hanifa.
He took a cloud of earth and hit me with it. Now both my head and forehead are in severe pain. Please, show me your pain. Can pain be seen?
You yourself criticized Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq by saying that Allah is not present because we cannot see it with our own eyes. And since I can't see your pain is not there. Secondly, what are you made up of again?
We are all made up of clay.
So is the cloud of earth, meaning that you say Shaitan cannot be hurt by the hellfire because he is made out of fire. That cloud of earth is made up of the same thing that you are. So when I chuck it at you, it shouldn't hurt you. Thirdly, you say that Allah is responsible for whatever we do. And then you bring me to the Khalifa and demand punishment. You yourself say that evidence is against this and Allah is responsible for what we do.
Abu Hanifa listened to Bahlul's intelligent answers and shamefully left Harun's court. With this, Bahlul proved to Abu Hanifa and the court of Harun that what Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq said was true and correct.
One day, a Baghdadi merchant was sitting in a ship with his slave and they were going to Basra. Bahlul and some others were also in the ship.
I'm so scared on this one. There's no way away from us. Is that what you say?
Calm down. Relax. Nothing. Calm down. Calm down. You. Throw him into the sea. Wait. Yes.
I can't swim. I can't swim.
Come on now.
I can't swim.
Oh, Bahlul, how did throwing him into the water quiet him down?
The slave didn't know how comfortable the ship was, what greatness and value it held. When he was thrown into the sea, he understood that this ship is a comfortable and relieving place.
Sometimes we only appreciate something when we lose it. So this is how Bahlul showed appreciation of things.
The grade 2s have worked hard to produce amazing artwork based on one of 12 sermons from Imam Ali's Nahj al-Balagha. These artworks were created in the woodland art style by a well-known Canadian artist. These one-of-a-kind art pieces will be a silent auction after the program outside. Inshallah, the proceeds will go towards educational resources for the primary division. They are truly a treasure for your house. Now please welcome the grade 2s who are allowed to Mawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allah created the earth and made it float in mid-air with no support and stands without legs and was raised without pillars. Two, winter. In the Najal Balaga, Imam Ali alayhi salam says that Isa, son of Maryam, had a stone for his pillow, wore very simple clothes, and ate rough food. His lamp at night was the moon, and the earth's huge sky was his roof during winter. Moon and stars. Imam Ali alayhi salam says that Allah decorated the heavens with the stars and the bright moon which orbits around the sun. In Najal Balaga, Imam Ali alayhi salam tells us to look at the sun and the moon, the plants and the trees, water, all the nature around us and the diversity of humans on earth. The end, number 5. Imam Ali alayhi salam teaches us many lessons through nature. For example, he encourages us to look at the ant with its small body and delicate form. It collects food during the summer for the winter. When it is dry for its period of weakness, the Imam is teaching us to always be prepared and not to waste our time when we are strong and able. Number 6, the birds. Our Imam tells us that Allah knows everything. The birds fly according to the command of Allah, and He even knows the number of feathers that each bird has. Allah knows every single type of bird there is. He created them after all. Imam Ali alayhi salam says that among the birds, the most amazing among them is the peacock in its creation, which Allah has created with the most beautiful colors, wings, and a long trailing tail. An example of a marvelous creation of Allah is the bat. Most animals move and are active during the day. The Imam says that the bat is active during the night and shrinks away from the daylight while other animals stop to rest at night. Number 9, the fish. We might think that the fish deep down in the ocean are far away and hidden from the eyes of everyone. After all, no one can see deep down into the depth of the ocean. Imam Ali alayhi salam reminds us that just like Allah is aware of the movements of the fishes in deep oceans, He is aware of the sins that people do in private. Number 10, the herbs. When Imam Ali alayhi salam talks about herbs, he tells us that Prophet Musa alayhi salam ate so many greens and herbs and was so thin that the greenness of the herbs could be seen under the skin of his belly. In letter 45 in Najil Balagha, Imam Ali alayhi salam is showing us about how much he knows about science and nature. He tells us that the wood of the tree which grows in the desert has the strongest fibers and that the trees which are very green have the softest barks. He also says that the bushes of the desert are very good for fire building. Imam Ali alayhi salam compares our life to a race or contest. He says that today is the day that we prepare and tomorrow is the day of the competition. Paradise or Jannah is the finishing point that we are trying to reach successfully. Salawat.
This message is especially for the ladies. We have a complaint from the men. The camera is in our side, and if we stand in front of the camera to take pictures, nobody can see anything on the screens. So if we can please avoid standing in front of the cameras, maybe come and sit in the front, take pictures if you need to, but not to stand in front of the cameras, please. Thank you. And again, I request all the children to please sit down and stop walking back and forth, because this ends up disturbing the participants. So if everyone can sit down, please. Thank you.
We are privileged to have here today the Nasheed Club, the Voices of Faith, to recite a Nasheed in honor of the lady who is central to the Ahlul Bayt. Please welcome AS-SADIQ Islamic School's talented young reciters with a loud salawat.
recalling my name. I know it has been said.
settle down? And if we can have some silence, please. There's still way too much noise. Please, thank you. And once again, I'm asking all the children to please find a comfortable spot, stay there and watch the rest of the program. Please, let's not try and move around so much.
Thank you. We will now continue the skits on Mahmoud, presented by the grade 6s.
One day, a Baghdadi businessman went to Bahrul and asked,
Assalamualaikum, Sheikh Bahrul. How are you today? I'm good, thank you. How are you? I'm good. So, I've heard about your great knowledge and wisdom, and I wanted to ask you something. What should I buy for my business that I can host?
I believe at this time of year, what will benefit you the most is iron and cotton.
Iron and cotton. Thank you for the coffee.
The businessman went away and bought lots of iron and cotton and stocked them.
Please tell it.
After buying iron, he went and bought cotton.
Are you selling cotton? Yes. So I'd like to test some, please. Yes, I'd like these ones, please. The whole stock. Please can you get it to my house? Okay, thank you.
After a few months, he sold them and gained a lot of profit. He went again to meet Bahlul.
Would you like iron or cotton? Here you go. Yes. Okay, thank you. I'll take cotton. Thank you. Here you go. Oh, crazy Bahlul, what are you doing? Playing with a rock. So, last time I asked you for advice, I taught you a lot today. So I'm here to ask you again. What should I buy for my business this time?
Crazy Bahlul. This time, you should stock up on lots and lots and lots of onions and watermelons.
Onions and watermelons.
Businessman went away and bought his entire savings worth of onions and watermelons. He went and bought watermelons.
Okay, cool. Are you selling watermelons? Like this one? No. Like this one? Yes, I'd like this one. The whole stock. Everything you have here. There you go. Thank you.
After buying watermelons, he went and bought onions.
How many go? You said onions? Yes. So can I some? Yes, I'd like these ones. The whole stock. Everything you have.
After buying the onions and watermelons, the businessman went and stored them. Just a few days later, all the onions and watermelons went bad and rotted, which caused a lot of harm to the businessman. He immediately sought out Bahlul.
Oh, Bahlul, the first time you gave me advice, I profited a lot from it. But the second time, what kind of advice did you give me? All my wealth is destroyed.
Well, the first time, you addressed me as Sheikh Bahlul. So I gave you the advice of a wise man. The second time, you addressed me as crazy Bahlul. So I gave you the advice of a crazy person.
The businessman was ashamed of his behavior and understood Bahlul well. This is how Bahlul taught respect for others. Salawat.
Alright, so that brings us to the end of our program. However, we're not yet done. We have a couple more things. First of all, I'd like to thank all of you for coming out. It's nice to see this big turnout. I know, like Sister Zainab mentioned. Oh, I am extremely sorry. My mistake. We still have one more skit of Bahlul left.
They say that one time Bahlul went to Basra. Since he had no acquaintances in the city, he rented a room for a few days.
Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum salam. How are you doing? Good. I'd like to rent a room for a couple days. The cheapest thing, please. 10 dinars. Here you go. One off. Here. Don't touch my bed. Thank you.
That room was so old and damaged, it started creaking at the slightest breeze. Bahlul went to complain to the landlord.
The room you gave me is very dangerous. It starts creaking at the slightest breeze.
The landlord liked joking.
You know, but all creatures of Allah do praise the tasbih. This is the room's way of praising Allah and reciting the tasbih.
Well, that is true. However, after praising and glorifying Allah, creation lastly do sunshine. That's why I want you for this room to sajda on me. Goodbye.
Wait, my customer! No!
That is how Bahlul showed wisdom through his insanity.
Alright, we're going to try this one more time. I think now we have reached the end of our program. I apologize to the grade 6s for that. We would like to thank all of you. I know it's Friday evening, I know everyone's tired, but we are really, really thankful that all of you are out here today. I hope you enjoyed the plays and the nasheeds that the kids put together. A couple of housekeeping announcements. We have refreshments at the back. Once you leave from either the men's or the women's doors, there are refreshments at the back for everyone. Also, please don't forget, Mason had announced that the grade 2s are doing a silent auction. The paintings are all outside, the bidding sheets are outside. You've seen how it's done before in the past when we have silent auctions. Go out there, bid for their paintings, please. Let's try to raise a little bit of money. The money that is going to be raised is going to be used towards resources for the primary division. That's what they'd like it used for. So it will definitely go towards good use for sure. So please do make your way outside at the end of the program and do some bidding, and hopefully inshallah you can put these gorgeous pieces of art in your homes as well. They're all paintings based on Najib Balagha, like the ones you just saw. So please go out and bid for them. We will end our program with a salam. So if we can get everyone to please stand up, face Qibla please, and then we can end our program with a salam. Thank you so much.
Salam
Salawat.